Hello everyone, welcome to my art channel where we do painting tutorials. As you can tell from the thumbnail, today we will be doing some nature scenery bookmarks with watercolor pencils. I prepared the paper by taping it down with masking tape so it stays flat, and I divide it into 3 sections. I start coloring the left bookmark with helium blue. I apply it mostly to the top left corner, and then I switch to phthalo blue. I use it till I reach about midway down and color the bottom half with an earthy green. I'm using light to medium pressure since I'm just laying down the basis for the backgrounds as a first layer. The middle bookmark is going to be a beach, sea/ocean area. I color the sand lightly with yellow ochre and then I go over it with Venetian red. I think these two colors, when mixed together, give an almost perfect sand color, and I love the combo. Plus, Venetian red has become one of my favorite colors and I try to put it on everything possible. I quickly erase the black line from my initial sketch with a normal eraser. I leave an empty gap between the sand and the water for the foam, and then add a base layer of phthalo blue over the sea, aka everything remaining. Then I go over the blue with dark phthalo green because, again, phthalo blue and phthalo green together make the perfect ocean color. Well, they technically make a turquoise, but that's close enough for me. For the last bookmark, I start coloring from midpoint upwards with dark yellow, then cadmium orange, yellow ochre, and finish it off with Venetian red. I'm basically building up a gradient. Feel free to use any warm yellow, orange, and red scale instead if you do not have these exact shades. I just want a dramatic tropical sunset here. Then I color the bottom half fully with just Venetian red and then add some small hints of the orange and the yellow on top of it. I get my watercolor brush and start blending my left bookmark. I start from the horizon upwards, aka from light to dark. I grab my napkin and randomly pick up bits of the blue to give the idea of subtle clouds. Then I clean the brush, blend the green and let it dry. Meanwhile, I move to the ocean. There again, make sure that the brush is clean, blend the sand, leave that empty gap for the foam, clean the brush and blend the water going left to right horizontally. It does not have to be perfect, some streakiness is actually going to be helpful since we are painting a nature scenery. Then again, clean the brush and blend the palm tree painting. I start from the horizon since that is my lightest area and go left to right upwards, then clean my brush and repeat on the bottom side. If you're getting any value so far from this video, please let me know by liking, commenting, and if you have not already, please consider subscribing to my channel. I'm currently trying to reach 20,000 subscribers and it would really mean a lot to me. Once dry, I go for my second and final layer. I told you this was going to be an easy painting. I color the tree crown with the same earthy green I used for the grass and mostly focus it on the top and on the right side since that is where the light is coming from. Then I color the bottom and the left side, aka the shadows, with helium blue, then layer on top some cadmium orange and my earthy green. They will mix to a very natural looking shadow and it looks very nice for a more realistic vibe. I forgot a little piece of land we have behind the tree, so I quickly add it in with cad orange and phthalo blue. I use those two along with the green to draw the whole shadow under the tree. Since the light is coming from the right, the shadow will be on the left side. I go over the trunk with raw umber and use walnut brown on the left side of the trunk and branches, because again, shadows go on the left side here. Then I activate that tiny piece of land behind the tree And I start blending the crown. I go from light to dark using a scribble motion and barely any water on my brush. I go over the trunk and then the shadow on the ground. Lastly, I take my green and use it a bit diagonally over the grass field to add some texture and give a better idea of, well, a grassy field. I do the same for the palm tree sunset. I take my Venetian red and lightly apply it horizontally over the sea for shadows or reflections or whatever. It just makes it look good. Then I take black and I color the palm trees. If drawing is not your thing, you can find traceables for this and many other tutorials over at my Patreon page, Sunshine Arts, and while doing so, you help support me and the channel. And like always, you can find a full list of the supplies used in the description box below the video, along with the photos I used as a reference and inspiration for these paintings. I go over the palm trees very lightly with my brush just to activate the black and smooth it down. And that painting is done. Now here comes the tricky part. I thought I'd use this white marker to add the waves and more foam to the middle bookmark since in the previous paintings I've done it had worked nicely. I don't know if it's because the background was too light this time, but I had to do several layers with it to the point it would have been the same, if not better, to just use the white pencil from the set without activating it. I guess I expected it to be more opaque, but hey, I had to make up with patience here and go over many times. If you're wondering, I'm just doing random circular shapes like number 2s and question marks, just random doodles. Lastly, I slowly peel off the tape in the opposite direction to avoid the paper tearing on me. I like to give a very special thank you to my patrons for the month of September. Thank you all for watching and we'll see each other in the next video.